はありがとうございます。シルフィー、初めてだよね。
While casually walking around the campus, Rudeus stumbled upon a heated confrontation. A group of bullies was attacking Cliff, but as soon as they noticed Rudeus, known for his formidable reputation, they hastily retreated. Rudeus remained in the dark about why Cliff was bullied. However, the next day, Cliff approached Rudeus and disclosed a revelation that shook him to his core. Cliff confessed that he had developed strong feelings for Elinalise. He explained that the bullies had assaulted him because rumors were circulating that Elinalise had been involved in inappropriate relationships with several boys within the academy. Cliff asked Rudeus to help him talk to Elinalise about his feelings. Having already been aware of the curse, Rudeus learned from Elinalise that she would have to reject Cliff's feelings due to the curse's constraints on her entering a relationship. However, to Rudeus's surprise, the following day brought news that Cliff and Elinalise had entered into a relationship. Cliff had pledged to find a way to break her curse and be with her. The next day, with the onset of autumn, Rudeus found out that Rinia and Persina had chosen to remain in their rooms. They opted out of a yearly beast folk tradition where male and female students fought to determine the household leader, a ritual Rudeus humorously referred to as the beast folk's version of mating season. As the Doldia Beast girls put Rudeus's name as the boss of the household, he became a rival for every man who wanted to be betrothed to Rinia and Persina. Amidst the contenders for Rudeus was Kishirika's fiancé, Badigadi, who defeated all the beast folks to fight him. Seeking mercy from Badigadi, Rudeus proposed a deal that if he triumphed, his life would be spared. However, Badigadi set forth two stipulations. Rudeus needed to land his mightiest blow on him and wound him to secure victory. Failure to do so would result in Rudeus's defeat. Surprisingly, using his disturbing magic ability, he won effectively. The next day, Rudeus discovered that Badi joined Renoa Academy as a student. After finding Sylphie distressed about whether Rudeus had forgotten about her, Ariel decided that she would leave his matters in her hands and allowed her to use the alias Fitz as long as she desired. As Rudeus's investigation of teleportation was running back in circles, he sought help from Sylphie, who eventually directed him to the famed Silent Seven-Star of Renoa, a genius on that subject. Rudeus, aware of Nanahoshi's identity as the Silent Seven-Star, was gripped by fear at the thought of meeting her, triggering his PTSD stemming from the harrowing incident with Orsted that had nearly cost his life. Upon encountering Nanahoshi, Rudeus fainted out of fear, only to regain consciousness in Fitz's lap. After Nanahoshi removed her mask, Rudeus discovered that she was none other than the girl he saved in his past life by risking his. The latter was shocked after the former asked him if he knew the people she mentioned on a piece of paper written in Japanese characters. Nanahoshi revealed that she was delighted to reunite with him and asserted that they should return to their past world together. But he refrained by inadvertently stating that he hated his previous life, contrary to her. Nanahoshi explained to Rudeus that she hadn't aged a day since she was summoned by someone about whom she didn't want to disclose anything to anyone. She continued to explain how Orsted had taken her under his wing, and together they had traveled the world within a year using teleportation circles to gather data for her return. Unlike Rudeus, who died in the real world and was brought up as a baby into the isekai, and thus had mana, Nanahoshi had none since she was teleported to Asura. This led her to propose a give-and-take relationship with Rudeus, where she would compensate for what she was lacking initially, and in return, she would teach him about the teleportation circles. Nanahoshi eventually revealed that she might be the person responsible for the Fitoa mass teleportation incident, which infuriated Fitz so much that she launched an attack on her. Rudeus eventually calmed her down by revealing that Nanahoshiu was also a victim, as she was still not sure whether her experiment's backlash was the reason. Sylphie found herself in a difficult situation, as watching Rudeus from a distance for a while now without disclosing her true identity was taking a toll on her emotions. Elsewhere, Rudeus continued with his unusual routine, in which he made a few changes, where, in his morning training, he sought bodyguardi's assistance that would help him sharpen his skills more. He proceeded with the lectures and lunch as usual and participated in Nanahoshi's experiments as agreed. He contributed his mana to assist the experiments aimed at transferring objects from his past world to the current, as Nanahoshi desired. Since it was a challenging task for Nanahoshi to learn about interdimensional teleportation, she proclaimed the experiment would take much of their time. Before Rudeus left, Nanahoshi promised him to answer one of his questions when their deal would reach its conclusion. After returning to his room, Rudeus discovered that Heckler was in town, so the next day he headed to the local tavern to meet him, but unfortunately, he had to leave soon for a new mission. While strolling through the market, Rudeus stumbled upon Luke and Fitz, who appeared to be acting somewhat strangely. When he encountered Fitz at the library, Rudeus sensed that something was amiss and quickly deduced that the person whom he met at the market was Ariel in Fitz's disguise, impersonating Fitz to maintain her cover. This realization explained why Fitz hadn't engaged with him during their earlier encounter, as doing so might have jeopardized her safety. Lately, Rudeus had been grappling with his emotions for Fitz, leaving him somewhat flustered. He went as far as to investigate whether Fitz was truly a man. Although his inquiry with Genius didn't yield any answers, a fortunate accident where Fitz tripped and fell over him revealed the truth. She had been a woman all along. Rudeus was ecstatic to discover that Fitz held the key to curing his illness. However, Rudeus suspected there might be a significant reason behind Fitz's decision to conceal her true identity as a woman. In light of this, he made the choice to maintain their senpai and kuhai relationship for now, instead of rushing into a deeper, more romantic connection, showing great patience and understanding. Sylphie initially hesitated to discuss her gender revelation with Ariel, who was curious about her reluctance to reveal her identity to Rudeus. Sylphie confessed that doing so felt like a betrayal to Ariel, and she feared the heartbreak of Rudeus not remembering her. Ariel insisted that Sylphie should disclose her true identity to Rudeus and gave her the ultimatum that failing the task would eventually cause her to sever ties with him forever. Sylphie then revealed significant memories from her core that she could reenact to help Rudeus remember her. Sylphie asked Rudeus to accompany her on the mission to the deep forest of Hale to obtain the rare freeze fringe flower that only bloomed in winter. During their journey, Sylphie used her magic ring to create rain. She also increased the moisture to prevent Rudeus from dispersing the clouds. Their journey took them to a cave where they sought refuge, finding themselves soaked from the rain. To avoid falling ill, Rudeus dried his clothes and suggested Sylphie do the same. Initially hesitant, Sylphie revealed that she couldn't remove her clothes as they were stuck. While assisting her, Rudeus reached the point where he had to remove Sylphie's shades. To her surprise, he recognized her by calling out her name. Overjoyed, Sylphie hugged Rudeus with tears in her eyes and confessed her feelings for him. Rudeus was surprised by how he failed to learn that Fitz was indeed Sylphie. However, he soon realized how much she had matured from a literal crybaby to a more level-headed person and felt relieved to be reunited with her. Rudeus eventually responded to Sylphie's proposal by revealing that he loved her in return. However, suddenly, his illness flared up again. As Sylphie understood the crisis Rudeus was going through, she sat by him to comfort him. The two headed back the next day to Renoa, where Ariel and Luke were frantically waiting to hear everything that had transpired with Sylphie during their trip. Upon learning about Rudeus's illness, Luke gave Sylphie a special potion that could potentially help him, and Ariel gifted her some money. While spending the night with Rudeus, Sylphie discovered that the potion was truly miraculous. The next day, the former was about to break down after finding Sylphie gone, similar to how Eris abandoned him. However, much to his surprise, she had simply gone out to meet with Luke and Ariel. Rudeus hugged Sylphie and revealed that his illness was cured. Eventually, the same day, Rudeus met Ariel in her chamber to thank her and Luke for reuniting him with Sylphie and curing his illness. Subsequently, Rudeus revealed his plans to head north to look for his family. However, Ariel pointed out that embarking on such a journey would eventually result in saying goodbye to Sylphie. Upon realizing this, Rudeus proclaimed his intention to marry Sylphie, and they both promised each other to cherish the love between them.